Well, it's really good to see you guys again. How are you today?
Hi.
We're good.
We're good.
All right, well, I'm happy to see you. As you know, this is our final session. You guys have been coming to see me for a while now. I know we've started with some things that were a little bit difficult right at the beginning, but you've both, really put in the work. You've come a long way. So how do you guys feel about that, about us ending this?
I think that's pretty good. I
Yeah?
think it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. I know that when we started, there was a lot of, contentment. I know you guys were arguing often. It would often get heated and, volatile. So how has that been going with using the strategies that we've talked about as far as, that effective communication?
It's been going really well.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear that. Anthony, what do you think?
I think it's been a lot better since we've started
Yeah?
doing these techniques.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that. So, arguing is part of any relationship. It's bound to happen throughout time together, and that's pretty normal. But of course, there are ways to work through that to avoid it becoming, something that drags out for days as opposed to maybe just a small disagreement that can be resolved quickly. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys feel like this is going to be, like, you have the tools that you need going forward, how to effectively resolve those conflicts that come up?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you feel like was something that was helpful in therapy?
Giving me different techniques to calm down.
Okay. And have you been able to use those?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really. A lot.
A lot? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. And Anthony, what difference do you see?
I just think it makes it a lot better when we do stuff like take breaks.
Okay.
It just makes it easier to get through everything.
Okay, good. Good. So you guys have those strategies, which of course, even after, after all of this and when you're, no longer in counseling, those are things that you can continue to use both with each other and in other situations where you might feel a little bit overwhelmed or stressed, to where you can still use some of those same techniques to try to kind of self-soothe and take a minute to gather your thoughts before addressing the problem, right? Okay. So what are some things that you guys are still working on that you're going to continue to work on even after all of this?
Just, I don't know, being more open to things, I guess.
Okay. More willing to compromise, maybe?
Yeah.
I know that was something that you guys were kind of struggling with right at the beginning. You both kind of set in your ideas of, what you felt might be the best course of action. And then when they didn't line up, they tend to kind of become this line in the sand where, you either had to be one or the other without finding that middle ground.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So definitely something you want to continue to try to find that medium for. Of course, going forward as a couple, the big key to success in that is finding that compromise between the two of you. So that it's not always one or the other, to where somebody feels like they have to give in all the time or the other one feels like it has to be their way all the time, but rather finding that solution that fits each other, right? And what's best for the two of you together as a team.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So going forward, I do highly recommend that you guys find a way of kind of commemorating everything that you've done together through this process. Something that's visual that you can look at to be that reminder years to come of how much work you really did put into this, so that you can kind of have that visual to just look at and remember, there was a time when things were much more difficult to get through and we got through it. So it could be something like a painting that you do together, a set of pictures, anything, something that just signifies to the two of you what you did together. So that's something I really want you guys to look into, because of course going forward it's always important that you guys find things to do together. Life is going to continue to get messy and it's going to get busy and it's going to get complicated. And the key to the success for you guys is always going to be to come back and find a way to do things together, to have that time set aside always, no matter how busy life gets, no matter what other things come up. because there will always be more things that come up. That is just the nature of life in itself.
Yeah.
So what are some ideas? I know that you're very artistic and creative. What's something that you think maybe the two of you could do together?
I don't know.
Okay.
He doesn't like painting.
Okay.
Yeah. He don't like doing none of that, so I don't know.
Okay. Well, maybe you guys could find like a motivational quote or something that you both really feel like speaks to you and all the work that you guys put in together. And, you could put that on a frame or get a picture of that and put it up somewhere where the two of you could see it as that reminder of the two. Or even, if after this you guys plan a special date night or a special time together and take pictures together and put that in a frame, something that's going to be a visual reminder of how far you've come is the point. Okay?
Yeah.
Right? So something to remember by, because it will, as time goes on, some of these tools and things may fade a little bit, and this will be something to help you remember. Right? So I know that one of the things we had talked about before was the rules of fair fighting, right? When you guys are arguing and kind of trying to get through those lines in the sand when you're on opposite opinions of how to go forward. So that is something that I want you to continue to use going forward with each other, right? And just to review, some of those fair fighting rules is, you stay in the present. You don't bring up anything from past problems or past situations. Avoid the ultimatums or the always or the never statements. The you always or you never. Those are love busters. Those never work out well, right? Yeah. So avoid those and always come back with the I statements, right? So if you guys are trying to explain each other's side, you need always use the I feel or, I would like to discuss, as opposed to the you never, you don't listen, the blaming stuff. Those are never work out well, and it's only going to lead to continued problems. And it's just going to make that problem seem much, much bigger. Right? So continue using those rules of fair fighting, staying in the moment. Don't use the love busters, which is the you never, you always, and always use the I statements. I would like to discuss. I would like to be able to get through this, or I would like for you to be able to see my side in this. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you guys have any big plans going forward? Anything you're gonna do? No,
I don't think so.
Now I know one of the things that we had talked about was the wedding plans. How is that coming? Do you feel like you're getting somewhere as far as finding that happy balance? Okay. So little bit, maybe not.
Yeah, a little bit.
Little bit, okay.
Yeah.
Are you still trying to find that compromise between the two?
We've just decided not to have one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is that a decision that you're okay with as well? Because I know that was something you felt very passionately about.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're just gonna kind of put a hold on it for a little while?
Yes.
And that's all right. That's okay. It's okay to have to take a minute, for yourselves to kind of figure out going forward what you want before making that final decision. So that's okay.
Yeah.
As long as the two of you are in agreement, that's the main point, is that the two of you be in agreement about the decision that is made, so that it's not just one or the other. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So how are you? I know that on one of the previous times that we talked, I know that you were still having a lot of trouble with some of the anger outbursts. How has that been? Do you feel like that's in better control?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't really throw things at the wall anymore.
Okay, that's always good.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm sure it saves quite a bit in having to replace broken objects as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And Anthony, do you feel like it's easier to talk to her now?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's less stressful.
That's good. Okay. So much less stressful, able to better communicate between the two of you as far as what's going on, and maybe finding that way between the two for, the solution that best fits for both of you.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. And of course that is the hope and the goal going forward. So what are some things that you are still working on?
Compromising, I guess.
Okay. Well, we touched on that a minute ago as well.
Yeah.
So give me an example of a way that you're still trying to compromise.
Give me a minute.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I just didn't want to argue about it anymore.
Okay.
So I said never mind to the wedding in general.
Okay.
That's what I did.
But was that really a compromise, or was that more of a, I just don't want to fight about it anymore, even though
I mean, it was a compromise. We weren't really fighting about it anymore.
Okay.
It was more of a, he doesn't want it. I'm not going to make him do it.
Okay.
So I'll do what's better for both of us and just let it go.
Okay. And now, do you feel that you have really been able to let it go?
For the most part.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're okay with this decision?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And was this something that came about after you guys talked about this more and you were able to kind of hear each other's sides about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So for right now, you've just decided this is what's best for everybody involved.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. All right. So is there anything else that you guys feel is still a problem, still something that is going to be, one of those kind of reoccurring things that may come up going forward?
No.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, there's going to be multiple situations about, any number of things that could continue to cause stress in our relationship. Life in general can be hard at times. There is going to be financial stress and, stress over decisions and things to do. And of course, at some point down the line, if you guys decide to have a family, there's going to be the stress of that and just trying to balance everything. So it's very important going forward that you continue to find different ways of managing that stress and being able to lean on each other for that as a team and not just one person trying to take on all of it or feeling like they need to take on all of it. Right?
Yeah.
And of course, that healthy communication between the two of you, being able to openly discuss what it is that bothers you, but in a healthy and constructive way.
Yes.
Okay. So, is there any questions you guys have for me or anything you want to discuss since this is our last time meeting together?
I don't have.
No. How do you feel about this ending? Are you guys worried about it ending? Are you a little nervous that it's going to go back to the way it was without, these weekly sessions?
No, I think we can work through things a lot better now.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah, I think it will be okay.
It's good. And that is what I want to hear, is that you guys feel like you have the tools and the knowledge to be able to move forward with whatever may get thrown at you together, right? But of course, there is always the option, time from now, if something major was to come up, if you felt like you did need help again, there's always the option to return to counseling. It's not a one-time, that's it, you can never see that person again. There is possibility, should you need it, you can always come back, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I do hope that you guys will be able to work through it and not feel like you need it again, but of course always know that option is there.
Yeah.
Should you feel like it gets to that point or there's new or increased situations that you're just not sure how to get through, right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, it has been a pleasure working with you guys. I know that this has been a lot to get through. We started with some pretty rocky stuff going on, but you guys have really come a long way. And it is really inspiring to see. I hope you guys see that in each other as well. Do you?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You're both very quiet today. You're just sort of like, okay. Okay. Well, of course, going forward, you guys will need to work it out. We'll be able to work it out together, right? Use that effective communication with each other. Right. Did you ever end up deciding on any kind of signal or code word for him to use or not? I know we talked about that once before.
No.
No? Okay.
No.
So you've been able to do it on your own?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's fine too. Okay. Well, if anything else does come up, you can still reach out. Do give some serious thought to finding a way to memorialize all the work that you guys did. Something visual that you can look at. Like I said, it could be a painting, it could be a picture, it could be a picture of the two of you out on doing something special to kind of celebrate and commemorate all of the work that you have put in to get this far. But you do want something visual to look at to remind yourselves that is going forward of just how far you've really come together as a couple. Okay?
That would be cute.
It's very useful because it's years from now, may kind of fade to the back of your mind, and then one day you'll look at it again and it'll just kind of all come back of just how far you've really come from where you started. So it's definitely a good thing to have.
Yeah.
That you guys can keep and just really remember that special bond that you share and why you went through all of that work.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was good to see you guys. Take care.